on pretty much all week. There's been some stuff going on in the political arena back in America, and there's some things I'm seeing that's kind of disturbing to me. Disturbing about how our sisters are getting down right now on the political stage, and so what I really want to get out here, man, right now is like, brothers got to really tighten up because our sisters are making moves and they're making moves without us. Um, and it's not going to stop. I don't see it stopping anytime soon. And what bothers me the most is that we got brothers out here on YouTube and just in life in general, caping for women, laying their jacket over a puddle for women, pretty much, and they're not understanding what's really going on out here. So, without no further ado, let me get to it. I want to show you some things that's been going on out here in the political sphere. And pretty much the Democratic Party has commandeered our women. All right, they got our women. And so, first thing first, first thing I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna show you what happened last week. This all started when I was watching Joy Reid last weekend, and apparently, sisters, who are Democratic operatives, came on AM Joy and started talking about all the things that black women want and black women are going to vote for, and they revealed some polls and stuff like that, and it was really disturbing that they had a 10-minute segment and then not one time did they mention two words, black men. You know what I mean? So before I go any further, before I show y'all what I'm talking about and get into what I'm talking about, I want to shout out to the chat room. Shout out to Charles Willie. Joe Kelvin, I see you. My man, my brother, Tony Smith, I see you up in here. Thanks for coming through. And so you guys go ahead and like, share, and subscribe and all that. And make sure you hit the like button for me. But let me go ahead and find my page that I was on, because I got to show you guys some things. And it's like I said, it all started last weekend with Joy Reid on her channel. And I could not believe the shit that I was seeing. You know what I mean? I could not believe what I was hearing, because this is happening on a national level, and it should be concerning every black man. All right, but this is not going to be your usual, black women ain't this, black women ain't that rant. It's not going to be that. It's going to be educational. So, without further ado, let me go ahead and stop my music, and let me go ahead and get to my first video. And like I said, this all started on Joanne Reid. She brought on some ladies. Obviously, it was an Essence forum later on that week, earlier last week in D.C. And black women had a round table and they talked about everything that concerned black women and what they were voting for this year in the democratic process. So let me go ahead and play Joanne Reid clip real quick, and I want you to pay attention to what she's talking about and what's being said in this clip. Check this out.
Great. Thank you very, very much. And coming up, thank you, a brand new 2020 poll that you will see only here, exclusively on AM Joy. That's next.
Oh, yeah, fair use. I got to say that, I guess, right?
It is no secret that black women's votes are absolutely critical for the 2020 Democratic nominee. So how are they planning to cast their ballots? Coming up next, we have an exclusive, the result of a brand new Essence poll. Stay with us.
And particularly when we look at what we've seen since the 2016 presidential election, I mean, the truth is black women in particular and women in general have always been the foot soldiers of the Democratic Party without being allowed to be the front runners, the leaders of the party.
Now, first of all, I'm going to stop right there for a second. Right now, I'm over in Germany. And for those who don't know, I've been working in DOD for pretty much my adult life. And I've lived most of my life in D.C. What that lady just said, that sister just said, was absolutely untrue. Absolutely untrue. All right? Black women are not the leaders of the Democratic Party, because the leaders of the Democratic Party and the Republican Party are white. Okay? But to say that they don't have any power in that party is outrageous. All right? if they're going to run somebody for election, it's usually going to be a black woman. All the positions that have been given out lately in government have been to black women. So they've been just giving things to black women. If you go back to Bill Clinton, everything they talked about back then and everything they did, even when while it was incarcerating black men, they were giving black women jobs. That's how a lot of black women got into government back in the 90s. Um, if you go back to Hillary's campaign back in 2016, um, she gave a speech in Harlem, and you can Google this. And she was in Harlem giving a speech, and she talked about how incarceration of black men, because she was really responding to um, those predator comments that she made back in the day. They came up again with the Black Lives Matter people and some people on the internet screaming about the predator comment, and she had an answer for that shit. So when she gave her speech, she talked about black men being incarcerated, and we got to fix that situation, and we got to fix the justice system and all that. And then she immediately switched to getting black women more jobs. Black women need more jobs. Black women need more jobs. Everybody will come on YouTube, whether they pro black male or not, will tell you that black men are the least given of jobs. You know what I mean? You got a lot of black women who come on YouTube and say, hey, black men ain't working, black men ain't doing this, black men ain't doing that. So we all know that's not true. All right. So with that being said, I'm gonna go ahead and go for it.
As pointed out by AM Joy Faith Maya Wiley, black women continue to be the backbone of the Democratic Party. Election after election after election, black women continue to be the party's most loyal voting bloc and have been the key to Democratic victories nationwide. Winning these voters over will be vital for the 2020 presidential primaries and in the general election. And a brand new poll out from Essence and Black Women's Roundtable gives us some insight into what black women are thinking. And joining me now is Dr. Avis Jones-DeWeaver, senior researcher and policy advisor at Black Women's Roundtable, Melanie Campbell, national convener at Black Women's Roundtable, and Kirsten West-Savali, senior editor for news and politics at Essence. And Kirsten, I'm going to go to you first. Congratulations on the poll. Thank you for sharing it with us exclusively this morning. What are the big takeaways that women should know and that Democrats should know about the poll?
Well, Avis can go more in depth on the numbers, but what a huge takeaway was that black women, of course, contain multitudes. We're concerned about not only militarized police forces occupying our communities and killing our children, but also how we're going to pay for our children to go to college. Also, are we going to survive childbirth to even raise those children? We're concerned about affordable housing. And also interesting, the Democratic Party still has not regained the trust of black women. We've seen those numbers stay still for several years now, and that still is not back. So those are some huge takeaways.
So that's interesting because the trust factor is important because Democrats kind of need it, right? I mean, I think one of the challenges that we've had, Melanie, that the Democrats have actually had is that black women vote overwhelmingly Democratic. But they aren't necessarily passionate about the Democratic Party because black women haven't exactly been given much power in the Democratic Party.
And really young people, when I talk about millennials and Generation Z, 18 to 34, they're really saying, show me. Don't tell me, show me. So they're still in that mode. So the overall numbers say black women still see the Democratic Party as representing our interests. But when you break that down and look at the younger generation, which is the larger demographic when it comes to the black vote, they're going to have to figure that out.
Yeah.
All of these candidates. And also black women, we're still shopping. Okay,
That's what I want to
get into. We have not made up our minds.
All right, now we're going nerdy here. Okay, Ava, we're getting in these numbers now. my favorite thing is numbers. Let's jump into this poll. This is fair. This is fascinating. Top presidential choices in the poll. Undecided wins.
Absolutely.
Beating Joe Biden.
Absolutely.
Yes.
And it's because black women are very pragmatic voters, but we also want to be courted just like any other voter. And I have a message for any Democrat out there who's running for president. Listen, you need...
Oh, my bad. I had my mic muted, y'all. My fault. My bad. My bad. I'm a little rookie at this, you know what I mean? So bear with me, but I got it. But anyway, what I was saying is that I was trying to create context for what you just heard on the audio of that video. And basically right now, the black vote is the black woman's vote. All right? The black woman's vote is the black man, you know what I mean? It's the black vote. Black men are not being courted by no political party. And I want you to understand that, because what you're about to hear next is going to be really fucked up.
to make sure that you are courting the black woman just as heavily, with just as much passion as you're courting these white working class voters, because guess what? They're not the only ones who work, and black women come to the polls, and they're the reason, they're the way that you're going to have a path to victory.
And white working class voters are Republicans, so courting them might not actually be as effective. But let's put that poll back up. Let's put number one back up again, and I want to dig back into this again. And Kirsten, I'll go to you on this.
Now, right here, they just changed polls, and I'm going to show you what that poll looks like. All right, so we got a transition. This is the poll they're looking at right now. Now, what you're looking at right here and what they're about to go in to is the breakdown of the black female poll at that the Essence took for black women. And I want you to look at it. The first one is undecided, no answer, which is pretty much really no answer. The second person on there is Joe Biden, and the third person is Kamala Harris. So Joe Biden, somebody who wrote the crime bill that locked up all of their men in the 90s, and Kamala Harris, a prosecutor who locked up their men in California and then wanted to keep black men locked up to work as pretty much convict slaves for the state. And even when judges or other groups in California pushed back against her, she came forward and said that we'll lose our cheap labor. So whether that was making shit or fighting fires, keep them niggas in jail. And those are the two top candidates for black women. The two.
Joe Biden is still number one. Second, he's number two after undecided. Kamala Harris and Elizabeth Warren being so close in the numbers, at numbers 3 and 4 after undecided. What do you make of that? Because it does feel like that's a big jump for Warren.
It does. There are a lot of black women who are really supportive of Elizabeth Warren. I think she's been consistent outside of, the issues that she's had with First Nations, indigenous communities, and she's tried to make amends for those. But she has a really progressive message. She's aligned, of course, very closely to Senator Bernie Sanders, and we see in this poll that younger black women are very supportive of him as well. So her take on black women and maternal morbidity is really, really excellent. Her trying to do affordable college, her take on health care, criminal justice reform, all those things are really attractive to black women voters.
Let's then go to, this is to cut to.
All right, so I'm going to stop it there because they're going to go into the young vote. Basically, these are three women who are participating in the Black Women's Forum that's coming up later in the week. So this is from last Saturday, and the forum happened, I believe, on Thursday. And I watched the whole 4-hour forum. And I think it was Wednesday. And I watched the whole 4 hours of his forum. I watched it on Roland Martin's channel. And there's two things I want to point out about that. One, there was only like 250 people watching between Facebook and YouTube. There's only 250 people watching that live stream. And two, the whole goddamn time for 4 hours, they mentioned black boys and black men one time. Matter of fact, they never mentioned black men. They mentioned black boys one time. And that was our sister, Becky Pringle. She's an educator, and she's been around for a while. I'm going to play that clip in a minute, but there was a forum that took place from Essence, at Essence in D.C., and there was nothing but women there, and with nothing but women in the room, and no men talking, just nothing but women. It was like 30 women, 3 different panels. I bullshit you now. I watched the whole thing for like 4 hours, man. And this was, basically what the panel was made up of. The same 2 of the women that you just heard on Joy Reid are there. And this is the shit they were talking about the whole time, was just about all these other issues that had nothing to do with the killing of black men. And I was taken aback for 4 hours how you could talk about every issue in the book, but you wouldn't talk about black men. And the skullduggerous part about it is when you looked at those last polls, the top issues was criminal reform and police brutality and all that. But in that whole segment on AM Joy for 12 minutes, they didn't say the two words black men. For 4 hours in this forum, they did not say the word black men. They couldn't say it. For some reason, they just could not say it. And I'm going to play a clip for the one sister who did say something, and it's only a 3-minute clip. And she did say something, but what was weird about what she did, when she said something about black men, there was crickets in the room. These are women who chaired every issue you can think of. I'm about to play the clip. You'll see what I'm talking about. They chaired about every issue you can think of when it came to black women issues and concerns. Some of this stuff was bullshit. So it was like a cheerleading squad in there. They would clap. But when it came to the boys, it was crickets. So check this out. And then I'm going to go in.
This last question is for you, and it's on,
And this is from the forum. This is from the actual forum, the 4-hour forum.
of course, public education. So I really feel like this year has not been a huge part of the conversation, not as much as it should be, because as I learned from working with Becky, there's really not a lot of policy that does not impact the classroom. And it just hasn't been at the forefront of the debates. The next debate is at Texas Southern and HBCU. Shout out to HBCUs. So I anticipate that there should be discussion on HBCU funding. But to you all as black women leaders and advocates in secondary and post-secondary education, what are some educational equity issues that you...
And that's Tiffany Cross talking, by the way. Tiffany Cross, a sister. If you go out on YouTube or go on Google, you see that she has no real following. So these are people that the Democratic put to be our leaders, to be representatives. This is a representative of black men, women, but they'll get hired by Essence to be the quote-unquote spokespersons because they look a certain way, whatever the case might be. But this is a woman that's young and she has no real following, but she is heading a panel full of women. Just think about that. But listen to this shit.
You believe are driving some of the concerns that the ladies outlined in the poll, especially as it impacts education for black women and girls. And Becky, we'll start with you, and then we'll go to Adaku, then Felicia, then Glenda. So
now, you heard what she just said. She set that up for how education impacts black women and black girls. But watch what the sister says.
Becky first.
This is Becky Pringle about to talk.
Thank you, Mel, of course, and Miss Tiffany didn't work under me. She worked with me, and I with her. It is an honor to join you here this afternoon. Elsie and Avis, I have to say, as a teacher for over 30 none of your business years, when I looked at the results of the survey and I did not see education at the top, yeah.
What she's talking about is that same poll they had where they had their agendas. You know, what was the main things that concern black women, and she didn't see education on there. So, and she's an educator, so that's why she's saying she's concerned the education wasn't on there. But due to further reflection, she's about to tell you what she's really concerned about. And I want you to listen to the response of the women in the room.
My heart started to palpitate just a little bit, but then when I thought about it, you know, when you think about the theory behind Maslow's hierarchy of needs, and you know that if you do not satisfy those basic needs of physical needs, food, health care, survival, when our black boys are being murdered in the streets, that's what we as black mothers are concerned about first. First, they have to survive. But I do need, as a teacher.
Now, you heard what she just said? There was no response from the sisters in the room. You just heard them clap for just introducing people's names and talking about other stuff, and they're all joyful and sisterhood stuff. But when you mention black boys, there were crickets in the room. And if you watch the video, you can see the change on the face of the women in the room as if she was saying something crazy. So I want you to hear that again.
Of physical needs, food, health care, survival. When our black boys are being murdered in the streets, that's what we as black mothers are concerned about first. First, they have to survive. But I do need, as a teacher for such a long time, to ask all of you in this room to not ever forget what we as black women know, that education is the cornerstone of this democracy.
Now, you see that? They can applaud that punchline, but they didn't applaud when she brung up as mothers that our black sons have to survive. And I want you to understand how deep that is. 4 hours of these women talking about everything under the sun but their own men. Now, you would say, Jay Sean, why would that be important? Because it's a women's forum, right? So they just talk about women's issues. Here's the thing I want to tell you. I would say to you, brother or sister. Womanhood includes motherhood. I don't care if she can't even have children. If she got an issue with her internally, she's supposed to be a nurturer and carer. The fact that our women have went on a TV show, national TV show, had a national forum, and they will not even mention their men who are being murdered. But they would say things like mass incarceration, justice reform, things like this. But why would you want to adjust those issues? Who's the ones getting, who's the ones getting dealt with the worst in that situation? Who's getting dealt with who's getting harmed the most by the justice system, by the police? It's your black men, overwhelmingly. It's not even close. Sure, lately there have been some women who got hemmed up, but it's by far black men. They did 50,000 arrests last year, and weed arrests in New York City last year. Almost 85% of it was blacks, black males. That's the stop and frisk stuff that we thought was gone, but it's not really gone, because all a cop has to say is, I smell weed. And that gives them probable cause to search you. So even though they stop and frisk, they still stop and frisking people. You understand what I'm saying? So let me put my music back on. So my point is, what I want to get to brothers is that we got to stop being suckers. We got to stop being suckers for real. It's time for us to stop being suckers. Now, I'm not saying this to go on some tangent about hopping the fence and saving yourself. That's not what we're going to do here. All right? I'm talking about black male leadership. I'm talking about getting black male leadership back on the table. Right now, we're not leading. We're not involved in the democratic process. We're not involved in the political process at all. I want you to think how this looks to other groups of men. How it looks to other groups of men where your woman has a seat at the table and you don't. Your woman is speaking for the black community and don't even mention your name. Don't even mention her men. Don't even mention her boys. Now, I can't play you all of this because it's 4 hours of this and then it's like another 15 minutes on Joy Reid. But I'll put the links in the description box and you can watch it for yourself. This is real skullduggerous, but you know what? It's enlightening because I like to know where I'm at as a human being. As a man, I want to know where I'm at. And what I understand is our sisters don't care about us. See, what they really petitioning for is to get more jobs, to get more housing, and to get more set-asides for themselves. And that's how our government system works. When you petition the government, when you run for office, or when you want somebody to court your vote, they gotta tend to your needs, and that's giving you your piece of the pie. And what's the piece of a pie for women? Jobs for women and for women only. Housing for women and for women only. So all that talk about niggas sitting on the couch, laying up in a woman's house, and they don't like the Pookie and Ray Rays and all that. Well, they're going to create more Pookies and Ray Rays because there's going to be less jobs for black men because you're competing with them. And you're going to have more resources than black men. So where we going to go? Where your boy's going to go? When your boy is 18, 19, 20 years old, where he going to go? He going to lay up in some chick's house. He going to lay up in his mama's house. See, this shit is created. It was created back in the 60s. It was created back in the 70s. It was put on steroids in the 80s. It was maintained in the 90s. Then they cut back on some of the benefits and all that kind of stuff. But the bottom line is now they want to create another wave of this, another wave of welfare, if you will. Set aside for black women, handouts for black women only. Because when they write the language, it's going to be for black women only. And of course, most of that language is going to be for single mothers. So if you got a kid out of wedlock, you automatically qualify for something. Real talk, this is how it goes down. This is how they've been able to populate the entire capital of DC with black people, with mostly black women in government. How do I know? Because I work in government buildings. Black women are all over the place. I'm serious. And I'm not saying that they don't belong there. Some of the black women, know what they're doing. They got good jobs. They know their jobs, whatever the case might be. But come on, man. If there's only but so many jobs going to go around. White people they're going to get their cut. They got a problem with their kids right now not getting jobs. They're coming out of college and going back home to their mother's house. You understand? So we have a real serious conundrum here. And black men got to stop being suckers, man. So any brother out here talking to you that you should save yourself, you should hop the fence, all that shit sounds cool, man. It really does, man. Look, I'm in Germany. And this brother's over here, living well, doing their thing. They got white wives, whatever kind of wife, whatever. They living a good life. All right? They are. I'm not going to take it from them. But here's the thing. You need to understand. As a man, you should want agency. You should want power. The brothers that are over here who have homes and have lives with their white wives, they can't control nothing past their front door. What I mean by that is they have no power in this country. So any black man living in Germany has no power here. He can't vote. He can't do anything. He's sitting here on the mercy of this country. So you better hope Germany don't fall apart. You better hope Germany don't go back to some Nazi shit. You better hope Italy doesn't fall into some fascist Nazi shit. Because when you living in Italy, you have no power. When you living in Switzerland, you have no power. When you living in England, brother, you have no power. You're just an expat. So sure, you're not dealing with the stresses of America. You're not dealing with the bullshit in America. But I, as an American DOS, I, as a descendant of American slavery, I, as a black man, I can't forfeit my heritage. I can't do it. So what I mean by brothers stop being suckers, I mean brothers stop being suckers, man. Stop letting these women throw pussy at you, pat you on the head, tell you, yeah, I'm your sister and all this other bullshit. And they love you when they don't, when they working against you. They're working against you. And it's not unmanly for you not to check them. So when cats like the BGSs of the world or whoever come around telling you that there's nothing you can do about it, you got to just lay down and, assimilate and all that, and there's nothing going to change. These are niggas that are lying to you. Or at best, just to give them the benefit of the doubt, they don't know any better. They're thrown in the towel. They've given up. They've given up. Our sisters are just like any other group of women. Women bend towards power because women are natural survivors. To give these sisters some credit, they're doing what they got to do to survive. Because they don't see their black men as their leaders. All right? They know black men are talented. They know we great guys. You know what I mean? They know all that, man. But they don't see us as our leader. See, I was on a live stream earlier this week, and I got into it with Cynthia G, and she said something very interesting. And I wanted to go in on it, but I left it alone because I want to keep it in my back pocket for another day. But you know what? I'm going to let it out the bag right now. She said, why don't black men get together and try to change the laws? They get together and do other things and win and get success in changing laws and getting things done for other reasons. Why can't they change the laws if they're not happy with the child support situation? If they're not happy with the custody situation? And what was interesting about that comment, it revealed who she really bows down to, and that's not black men. See, most black women don't bow to us. They don't bend to us. They don't want to be led by us. Their real man is the white man. That sister literally told me, Sister G literally told me that we should create a group, black men should get together, form a political movement to go ask the white man to set her straight. Think about that. We're going to go petition the white man to change the laws so black women, so we can have things the way we want it. Instead of crying about it, like she says, right? Well, we're going to do something about it. Engaging her is doing something about it. Standing up and taking charge of your children is doing something about it. Getting custody of your children and, changing how you live and, and being more responsible and not shooting up the club. Because right now, from what I understand, the young people are not having kids like that. They're not getting married like that neither because they don't see nothing good in marriage. There's already been a reaction. There's already been a MGTOW and that's what and save yourself, black man, and now we got all this red pill and black pill and all this other nonsense. You know what I mean? There's already been a reaction. We need them to react. We need them to, to cooperate, but they don't want to cooperate. They want to do what they want to do, and they will step over your dead body or your incarcerated body to get theirs. What happened this week is not cool, man. It's a very embarrassing thing as a black man. Regardless of how you feel, brothers, our sisters reflect us. And they did this on a national scale. They did this on a national level. Panels and panels of women, 30 women, just talking and talking and talking about what they want. And they won't even mention their boys. Fine, you don't want to talk about black men? You won't even mention your boys? What kind of mothers are these? You got white women out here fighting to get their murderous kids off the hook. Whether they kill somebody in a car accident or they rape somebody. And they fighting to get their kids free. And then when their kids get free or get exonerated for rape or get let go or get a slap on the wrist for rape, no one says anything. Because you know why? They understand that the future of their race, the future of their tribe is their men. The future leaders and protectors of their tribe is their men. So no matter how wrong they are, or no matter what they've done, we still need them to lead and protect us. And black women don't see us that way. Not only do they not see us as their leaders, they don't even care about our lives. They'll abort a baby in a minute. They don't care. I just read a story today. I think another YouTuber covered this guy last year. This cat named Freddie Figures. And he started a telecommunication company. He got a cell phone out and all that. And what was crazy about his story is that he was thrown in the dumpster. Because remember, Brenda had a baby, right? Remember the 90s? Why they started coming up with all these laws where women could just drop their kids off at a fire department or drop them off at a hospital? Why did they come up with that? They came up with that because women were throwing them in trash cans. They didn't want to be mothers, so they gave them an out. They made abortions more lax. They made it more available. Because if she don't want to be a mother, she can get out of it. She can have an abortion. She can drop the kid off, like I said, at the fire department or a hospital, no questions asked, and go about her life. But you can't do that. If she points you out, you go, now you on the hook for your money. Dave Chappelle had the greatest joke. He said, all right, fine. I concede. It's your body, your choice. Men, that's fair. It's her body, it's her choice. But on the same time, ladies, if you can kill the kid, I should be able to abandon the kid. I want you to think about how the arguments have been framed in our society and where we argue from. We argue from a very weak position as men. We argue from a very weak position as men. When we had these arguments about, men not taking care of their kids and men abandoning their kids, we already lost the argument. How you even gonna bring that up when you're killing the kid? When you just giving the kid up for adoption? When women are killing their kids and burying them in their backyards, or whether it's the Casey Anthony story or the chick that just got off this week talking about the baby was stillborn. Well, if the baby was stillborn, why was you trying to hide it? I mean, it doesn't make any sense. Not guilty. So you can do all of that as women and get away with it. So if you can do all that, then what's it? How much horrible is it walking away? It's not horrible. Not worse than what you're doing. Now, I wouldn't do it. I take care of mine. You know, I got custody of my daughter. I love my daughter. I love being around my child. I would never abandon my child. But that's me. But there's men out here who didn't want to have a kid. And they were just as irresponsible as the woman. They shot up the club. She got the club shot up. But if she doesn't want to be a mother, she can get rid of it. She can kill it. She can terminate it. Or she can give the baby away. So we have an imbalance in public policy. We have an imbalance in social policy. All right? Things are just not fair. So we have to make an adjustment as men. We have to make an adjustment. We have to adjust to what's going on out here. We have to. We have no choice. It is what it is. But running from your community is not the answer. We're going to have to engage our black woman. We're going to have to deal with her. It just is what it is. Because if you run away, then what's the future? There's no future. It's going to just be the dusty Pookie Ray Rays having babies with 8 different baby mamas, and then the rest of them going to swirl, and then they're going to just get more and more bitter, and then the kids are going to be worse. So there's no way out of this, man, but forward. For all you pro-black brothers, I agree with you, man. This was systematic. It was done to us. But now she's participating in it. And guess what? So are you. You turn your back on your community, you turn your back on your race, you're participating in it too. You are. You are, man. You're participating in this shit too. And there's no way around that. There's no way around that. So anyway, kind of new at this. Give me a sec. I'm trying to fix something on my screen, but all right, here we go. So anyway, I'm just gonna wrap this up real quick. I just want to do a quick live stream to talk about this, man, because this shit was bothering me all week. It's bothering me all week, and the fact that black men are running around YouTube. All right, you know what? I'm going to say something else before I go. There are a lot of sisters who come on YouTube, and they're not coming on to help. They're coming on just to hurt and use their time on YouTube or an opportunity to talk to a brother crazy. It's because they just want to hurt a brother. They want to throw a brother under the bus. They want to use any bullshit to just make you look bad. That's all they're on their YouTube to do. They're not really on here to fix anything. All right? Because it's not her job to address the men. It's just not her job to address the men. That is not a female's job. Look, a woman can come to me and say, Jay, I got a problem, or brother, I got something on my mind, and we can talk about it. All right? We can talk about it. But she's not supposed to be yelling at you, calling you dusted beta male coons, and calling you a bitch ass nigga and all that kind of shit. All that is disrespect, fam. And what bothers me the most is not what the women are doing. It's the fact that the brothers be co-signing that shit. You know what I'm saying? They stand by and watch other black men be disrespected, and they claim to be, pro-black or, I don't know what they claim. I don't know if they're pro-black male or not. I don't see how you cannot be pro-black male if you're a black male. I don't get that. Given our situation in America and given our history here, it's unique. You know what I mean? We have a certain specific issues that only pertain to us, and for you not to have any compassion for another brother, or to sit back and watch another brother be disrespected and join in on that disrespect, which is basically encouraging the women to be the way they are, I think it's criminal. I think it's foul and it's criminal. It's not helping us in any kind of way. It's not doing anything good for us as black people. Black men need to come together. We're gonna have different mentalities. We're gonna have different ideas. We're gonna have different opinions, but we're gonna have to come together and make shit happen as men, like other men do. There are plenty of men out here of different groups who don't like each other, man, but they know how to work with each other. You can't be a builder, you can't be a leader if you can't work with the other men in your group. You can't. All right? So these sisters that be coming on here, I want you to tell them, like, look, don't dress the men, go dress the women. Don't act like this ratchet shit ain't going on out here. Like you ain't got women out here using their babies as an umbrella and shit and twerking in front of their kids and, you know, and popping their ass in front of babies and got little boys smacking them on the butt and got little girls twerking. Let's stop acting like this other shit ain't going on out here. As women, why are you not addressing that? Why are you addressing the men? Let men address men. Because when you do that, you show that you really don't want men. You show you really don't want men when you do that, sister. And you really not a man if you let a woman do that to you, brother. So anyway, it's about 3 in the morning out here. I'm tired of this. Actually, shit is almost 4 in the morning over here. And I just got in. It was late. And I had some shit on my mind, so I wanted to do a quick live stream, man. So if I sound, my energy's low, it's because I'm actually tired. But it's all good. The bottom line is that, you know, brothers got to stop being suckers, man. Stop being the world's suckers, man. All right? Don Sterling said that shit clear as day. There was a white Jewish billionaire who told you motherfuckers that black people don't care about each other. He kept it 100 with y'all. He kept it real. Because that's how the world sees us. And we got only people that can change that is us. The women are not going to change. The women are going to do what they can do. I just gave you a quick example of what happened this week on a national level in front of the world. This is what these sisters did. Anybody watching that from the outside looking in, especially white men, are smiling because we live in an anti-black world. So when anybody sees your women just dismiss you that way, not even care about you that way, and you got a situation, it's not like black men are living high on the hog in America. You know what I mean? We're getting murdered, man. We're getting mass incarcerated. We're getting overcharged, over-policed, disrespected, discriminated in the workplace. I mean, everybody knows this. So for you not to even make that an issue for you as a black woman, what kind of women do we have? I'll tell you what kind we have. We have women who are out for self. And no matter how good your dick is and how much you make them moan and groan, they're going to get out that bed, pull their panties up, and vote against you, just like white people do. Anyway, I'm Jay Sean. I'm out of here. Y'all be good. Business is life. Life is business. So handle yours. I'm out, y'all.